Hello and welcome to another of our series in the Meet the Team, where I get to talk to TLS team members and you get to hear a little bit more about why we do what we do. So I'm the COO of the Leadership Sphere, and I'm joined today by Dina Pozzo, one of our amazing facilitators, coaches, and also Dare to Lead certified. So welcome, Dina, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So we take a theme each quarter for the Leadership Sphere for what we're going to talk to or talk about. It links to the blogs that we send and some of the messaging internally and externally. And the theme this quarter is wellness. So wellness at work. And Dina, I think it's a topic that both you and I are pretty passionate about in the workplace and outside of that. So yeah, thank you for joining me for this interview. And yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you too. I'm very excited.
Me too. I love these. So let's kick off the interview with, the million-dollar question. How did you get into facilitation and why?
Lauren, you're going to laugh at this because it was a long time ago. I was a mere child. No, not really, but it was a long time ago. And I was actually a participant in a managing your stress at work workshop. And I was there as a participant. It went over a couple of days. I was working for a great organisation who they were very interested in our wellness at that time. And let me tell you the year, it was 1993-ish. So
Okay.
as I said, mere child, but it was at that point where I was a participant and I was watching the facilitator and I was watching the impact that he had on everyone in the room. And I kind of thought, oh, I want to do what he does. So I went back to uni again.
Wow. Well, it's perfect topic.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, lovely. And I guess, can you talk to us about how your journey with TLS started and what it's been like to work with us?
Absolutely. I had to have a look because I'm thinking, when did I actually start my journey with TLS? And I knew it was approximately 2 years. It's almost 2.5 years. But I remember, Lauren, you reached out and it was around Christmas time in 2021. And I was really interested to have a conversation. And again, when I think of the conversation we're having today, whilst I was very interested to have a conversation with you, I had also put time aside for my wellness and to rest and recuperate and then be my best self for the year to come. So I remember saying to you, oh, Lauren, really keen to have this conversation, but do you mind if we leave it until the new year? And your immediate response was, yes, absolutely, let's do that. And then I think you suggested maybe the first or second week of January. And I went, oh, Lauren, do you mind if we push it out a bit further? And your immediate response was yes. I share that story because what's it like working at TLS? It is everything from inclusive, exciting, respectful. There's a real connection, there's a real bond. There is just this absolute connection. That's the word I want to use. And that connection filters through everyone. You don't just talk about connection, you do it. You don't just talk about inclusivity, you do it. You don't just talk about courage, you do it. And that's really important to me. And I love all our interactions because they're curious and they're genuinely, you and everyone at TLS is genuinely interested in humanity.
Thank you, Dina. That's I guess it's what we strive to do, human-centered leadership. We're all humans at the start and at the end. And yeah, inclusivity. In fact, one of the next question we've kind of led into, but is about what do you think we do well as a business to I guess look after our staff internally and our clients, and that is one of them, is that the inclusive factor. In fact, we're just about to start our mental health first aid for our team as well, doing that component, which is just all part of it. It's part of what you need to do in business, is look after your people people, make psychologically safe environments, and we create that space for the leaders that we teach to do that. And we make all of our team go through Dare to Lead before they are allowed to be an official TLS team member, which obviously you facilitate beautifully as well. So I guess, is there anything else to add about what we do as a group to help, and yourself in facilitated sessions or as a business, to support wellness in the workplace?
So, Lauren, there's a few things. Definitely leading by example, and I think particularly of Phil here, he's absolutely into nature, he's absolutely into family, and, important with wellness and important for me in terms of culture is that people focus on what's important. And I see him doing that. And with that, then there's the leading by example. The other thing, and these are things that are important to me, and that's what attracts me to TLS. It's being seen and being heard. It's the genuine curiosity in other people. There's the genuine interest in what people bring. And then if I think of a third thing, it's everyone's genuine interest and commitment to ensuring everyone's success.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I might be a little bit biased, but I think we've got a pretty amazing culture, a group of people that want to make it easy for us to work with for our clients, and that no job's too big or small. It doesn't matter your title or your role. When push comes to shove, everyone will roll up their sleeves and help each other. And I think that can be seen externally with our clients as well. So
Yeah,
lovely.
and Lauren, absolutely, those things that I said are not just for us internally, but absolutely with clients. It's about everyone's success, no matter who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Now, in the theme of wellness,
Yes.
what do you do personally? I think I know a couple of these things, but what do you do personally to ensure your wellness? I guess my take on wellness is wellness goes beyond just our workplaces, but what do you do to look after yourself to allow you to be able to show up at work healthy, full, present?
Absolutely. And Lauren, you know this, Pilates. Pilates is huge for me. Pilates is one of those things every week, a minimum of 3 times a week. I'm really lucky that sometimes I get to do it 4 times a week. And just before our interview today, I did a Pilates class. Walking, and in fact, this is probably the most important thing. Every morning, Jeff, my husband, and I, we roll out of bed into a tracksuit, and we walk our 2 dogs, our 2 Dalmatians, and we walk for about an hour every day, and that's non-negotiable. When I say non-negotiable, we do it 9 out of 10 times. Like the dogs always, but together at least 9 out of 10 times. There's always something that comes up, but that's non-negotiable also. And it's just particularly walking together in the morning. There are mornings where we chew each other's ears off, and then there are mornings that we just walk in silence. And it's a beautiful time of day. I've come to really appreciate quiet. I've come to appreciate stillness. I've come to appreciate nature. If you were to look at my VIA strengths, and these have shifted over time, but now one of my strengths is appreciation of beauty and excellence. And doesn't surprise me because I now actually look, I am mindful in my walking. So walking is huge for me, and particularly walking with Jeff and the dogs, and Pilates. And then there's all the little things that we do as well. I focus a lot on gratitude. I focus a lot on kindness. And it's an intentional focus.
Beautiful. And yes, I'm aware of Pilates, and I love the fact that you'll put boundaries around what you need to do to show up. You're touching on things like connection with the people in our lives. Sometimes we're too busy to do that. So keeping that outdoors, love it, love it. And I guess going back to more of the organizational lens, what do you think are some of the common issues or barriers that organizations face, either individuals or teams within organizations, around wellness at work, and what's your view on those?
Oh, challenges. Such a big question. I think a lot of challenges have come out of COVID. I hate to say that, but I think it's true. I think whilst there are absolutely benefits to working from home, I think there's also a downside because we're not connecting as often as perhaps we should for our well-being. Challenges are challenges are not having boundaries. So, each individual in an organisation, if each individual in an organisation can consider their boundaries, and, please don't get me wrong, it's not, this is what I expect, so it's inflexible and that's what it is. But if I know what my boundaries are, I can then do something about it, including letting people know. And then, there might be a workaround or, whatever it might be. Challenges, I think, are leaders who don't lead by example. And this is an age-old challenge, pre-COVID. But, it's the leader who says, oh my goodness, Lauren, it's 6 o'clock. What are you still doing sitting at your desk? Shouldn't you be on the way home? But they're still there at 6 o'clock or 6:30 or 7 o'clock. It's that kind of thing. So I think um, there's a lot of them. And I don't think it's an easy question to answer. So I don't know if I've done that justice, but that's my answer.
I love it. And I think there'll always be barriers. I think boundaries, I think we're seeing a lot more burnout and fatigue. The work from home seems to be adding hours to people's days when originally it was saving hours. And yeah, I think leaders, you touched on something that I think we do well is checking in. If you've got a remote team, you don't walk past and see if someone's slumped or tired. And yeah, the little things make a big difference. And it's, yeah, how your leaders show up hugely.
And, when I think of burnout too, again, post-COVID, we are so connected virtually that, working with international clients, there are emails that arrive at all time of the day. And no matter how much someone says, don't respond to this until it's in your own time, we want to be responsive. We want to, meet needs, exceed expectations of stakeholders. So, it's, I don't know, whatever o'clock at night, and we're still responding to emails. So it's that kind of stuff. So again, this is where boundaries, and the curious thing is that most people will respect those boundaries. So when you say to an international client, I will get to that, in normal working hours, most of them will go, yeah, of course. But we think that we need to respond to it immediately.
Yeah, boundaries and the pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it is. The world we're in is global. It's complex. It's
Yeah.
digital. It's electronic. We're always accessible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. Boundaries, looking after yourself, being aware, leading by example. I think
Yeah.
we've covered some good stuff. Now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit, Dina. I'm going to do some rapid fire,
Okay.
some quick questions. You don't
Yep.
think too much before we go.
Yeah.
Uh, the last thing you ate.
Almonds.
Oh, okay. Wellness. We'll tick that one. I was hoping it was chips or something, but no.
With almonds. Chips
What
was
are your three? Oh, you go.
chips was yesterday.
Good. Me too. The weekend. What are your three most consumed drinks?
Water, wine, and gin.
Oh,
But I
yes.
drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water, I promise.
I know I'm trying to up the water consumption for my wellness and just creeping past the 40 mark. It's like, oh, coffee and red wine and water are my three. Yeah. Is there a skill or hobby that's a little random that you're surprisingly good at or you want to learn?
Oh, no, I'm going to own it. My photography. I'm going to own it. So I use all my photography in my workshops in some shape, form, or other. I'm going to
I
own that.
believe you do. Lovely. And now I know the answer to this one. I was going to ask cats or dogs, but how do you feel about cats?
We actually had that conversation yesterday over lunch, cats or dogs, and I will always have dogs. But there's something about a cat that's also very appealing. And in fact, I think one of my dogs is half a cat.
Okay, and I've got Dalmatians, I
Two
believe.
Dalmatians, Jake and Maggie.
Yes,
Big
yes, I've
spotty
seen them
dogs.
in a couple of meetings.
Yeah.
And finally, summer or winter, and why?
Oh, such a hard decision. Summer, because walking is far easier. It's just, daylight saving, it's warmer, you know, it's just easier. Summer.
Yeah, I went out this morning for the first time in a while with a headband on for the cold, and it's pitch black, and it's not as fun.
It's
Oh,
not fun.
correct. And look, Dina, thank you so much for sharing and for your time with me and our listeners today. Is there anything that you'd like to share, I guess, as a final thought or tip for our audience around wellness in general or wellness in the workplace and how to create it? Any final Dina isms?
So these are two things that I'll say again and again and again. One, be intentional in what you're going to do for your psychological and physical wellness. So be quite intentional and realistic though, because if we try to do too much, then it all gets too hard and we do nothing. So be intentional, be realistic, and practice. So um, we're merely mortal. There are weeks where we're going to get it really right and love it. And there are weeks where we're going to go, oh, I haven't done any of that. So practice and be kind to yourself in that. In those weeks where it's not working, go, okay, it didn't work, but I've got next week. In those weeks where it is working, just keep, reward yourself in some way.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah, be kind to yourself and be kind to your teams. I think if someone's showing up in a certain way in the workplace, get curious. Why? Is there a behavior change? Is there a shift in what someone's doing?
Yeah,
Get curious. Check in on that person. Check in on yourself if you're showing up
yeah,
differently. And yeah, I think with a bit of kindness, curiosity, and we can support the wellness in the workplace.
indeed.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Dina. And I love working with you. It's been a couple of years so far and many more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Lauren. It's been great to be here.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.